and we stay on 2022. Silly season stuff here, Kyle. GMS Racing is going Cup Series racing in 2022, out of left field. Like, this is in the secondary park next to the field you're playing on. This came out of absolutely nowhere with GMS Racing, and they're starting a new Cup Series team. We get the impressions it could be. We don't know anything beyond that. Cup Series to some extent, drivers have been scheduled to be determined. So a lot of variables still up in the air, but we do know GMS Racing is coming Cup Series racing in 2022. So your initial thoughts here, Kyle? We don't know too much beyond that, but pretty exciting stuff that we're having some Truck Series organizations potentially looking at coming to the Cup Series here.
Yeah, left field is the right thing because it was 2 years ago now that they shut down that Xfinity Series team with John Hunter Nemechek. And all of a sudden they're going Cup racing. So it's kind of a weird kind of progression here for GMS, but next gen, get in early, see where things are at. I do think that this will be a part-time team. I doubt that they're going to be involved in kind of charter conversations. I assume this is going to be kind of slowly get into the fold. Of course, next gen is going to be one car for everywhere, so it's not something that you need to worry about too much in that regard. But I do think that it'll be kind of a slow progression into the Cup Series for GMS. And it's cool to see. I don't know what number they'll run, maybe like a 26 or something, because a lot of their numbers in the Truck Series right now are taken in the Cup Series. But for GMS, this is a really cool opportunity. The Xfinity stuff didn't work out too much, but they're a powerhouse in the Truck Series. They have the financial might. They run 5 trucks regularly in the Truck Series. So moving up to Cup makes a lot of sense. Maybe the trickle down effect, I'm not too sure about what that would mean for the Truck Series team, whether they would go down to 3 or 4 trucks or whether they would stay at 5 and go part-time in Cup, whatever it means. But this is really cool because anytime you can get new teams in the Cup Series, and especially ones that are kind of have that footprint in NASCAR already at a lower series, is really cool. But I think a bigger question is maybe who's going to drive for this team. And it's something that a lot of people have kind of pulled from. Some people have looked, maybe this is a way for Junior Motorsports to kind of get to the Cup Series and kind of a partnership thing, and maybe like a Justin Allgaier's candidate. I think this is going to be a part-time team, not going to be full-time. Whoever runs in this car will probably still run for points in another series. So I'm looking at probably Sheldon Creed to be the leading candidate, maybe somebody like Zane Smith as well, depending on what they decide to do next season. You can also look to some former GMS drivers as well, and Kaz Gralla, depending on what happens there with Colleague. If he doesn't get a full-time ride, if he doesn't share that ride with AJ Allmendinger in the Cup Series, maybe he looks to something like that. Previously, you could have said Justin Haley is a potential candidate from his GMS days, but of course that has now been ruled out with him going full-time for Colleague. So definitely quite a few ties of former GMS drivers, current GMS drivers that could be candidates. And another name there, Brett Moffitt. I feel like that's unlikely just given how that relationship ended, but you never know. Fernando Alonso went back to McLaren, so anything is possible in motorsports. But I think this is a fascinating one to see how it plays out. For starters, the schedule, whether they're part-time, whether they're full-time, if they're part-time, what races they run, and also who goes in that seat. So definitely one that nobody was expecting, but definitely a welcomed addition to the Cup Series going into next season.